Okay, so I wrote up a little thing while we were gone, namely that we would reject the null hypothesis using the classical method because that test statistic 2.1996 is greater than Z alpha. What if we were doing the p-value method? Okay, so if we're doing the p-value method, you're going to need to find the p-value. Okay. Oops. That would be equal to norm dot dist, and then you say that test statistic, comma, the mean, which is 0, comma, the standard deviation is 1, which is true, right? Wrong. Okay, so norm dot dist, is using a left tail. You can tell because it's so high. So what we really want is the area in the right tail. Oops, let me show you the picture. Okay, so if you're looking at the p-value over here, what it's doing is it's finding an area in this tail, but we really want the area in this tail. So the way to solve that is just to do the negative of that, right? So negative, make it negative 2.199. That's fine. That'll probably be the easiest way. The other option is to leave it what we had, leave it so that it's 0.2199, but then just take it away from 1 because what you're really looking for is the complement. In other words, if you look back at this picture, what it did was it found this whole white region to be 0.9 and some change. And so you take it away from 1 and you'll have the blue tail you were actually looking for. And it occurs to me just now, I was thinking of it, I forgot. Z alpha over 2, I found it with the new version. You can also find it with the old version, norm inverse 0.05, 0, 1. And again, it's negative, so you'll just have to do the opposite. There's no real difference between norm dot inverse and norm inverse. They're the same thing. Norm dot inverse is just the new function with Excel. For the p-value, do the same thing. It'd be 1 minus norm dist, and then that test statistic 2.9, comma 0, comma 1, comma true. There you go. All right, so there's your p-value. And hopefully you can see you're going to reject H naught, right? Let me write it up. Reject H naught because the p-value, which is 0.0139, is less than alpha, which was 0.05. Okay, so there's step 4 and step 5. We could also confirm our answers with StatCrunch. So we go to Stat, Proportions to Sample. We have a summary, and then I've got to go back and find my data here. Okay, so I had 107 out of 710, 67 out of 611. Next, I'm picking a right-tailed test, which is the bottom one. Calculate, and there you go. And look, I mean, when you see it, see how the test statistic 2.199, just like we said, and the p-value is 0.0139. And if you want, you can copy and paste it in here. It double checks all your answers, and it's a thing of glory. Cool. All right, so since we rejected the null hypothesis, I think we are done with that problem. I guess we could finish it up with step 6 because it's asking, does the evidence suggest? So let's write this out. Step 6, there is, or how about this? The evidence supports the claim that there is a higher proportion of subjects in group 1 who experienced fever as a side effect. Done. Alrighty. So the next one I'm going to work on is actually number 17, which is up here. And I'm going to do pretty much what I've done in the other ones. I'm going to set up my x1, n1, x2, n2, my alphas and step 1s. So let me go do that. Hold on. I need a new tab. Oops. There it is. Let me type it all in. Hold on one sec. Actually, let me show you something. Since I copy and control copy, I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to paste. And then I can just change the numbers and everything will automatically change.